The unspoiled queen of the Caribbean. That's what they call Saba, a lovely little island of the West Indies, which is in fact a Dutch territory. Intrigued? Then stay tuned, cause we have more to talk about. Hello and welcome to 7 Facts. Saba, in its entirety, barely occupies 13 square kilometers. A little over 1900 people live here, which makes Saba the smallest territory with a permanent population in the Americas. They may be small, but they're also kinda big. The biggest in the country, in fact. Since Saba is a part of the Netherlands, their mountain/volcano represents the highest point in the entire kingdom. This place has no permanent beaches like its Caribbean sisters, but believe me when I say it qualifies as a tropical paradise. Cloud forests, rocky cliffs, hidden bays, abundant wildlife, you name it, they have it. So, how did this place came to be? And why is it Dutch? Let's take a look at the history. The earliest human presence on Saba can be traced all the way back to the 12th century BC, when the Ciboney people lived here. Much later, in 1493, when Christopher Columbus found the island, the Arawaks had made the island their home. And just like in the rest of the Caribbean, this started a competition between the European colonizers. The Spanish claimed it, the French claimed it, the English too, the Dutch even sent families to settle on the island. Meanwhile, plantations were established, slaves from Africa were imported, and the locals were shipped away into forced labor. By the 17th century, Saba became a sanctuary for the undesirables, pirates and smugglers. Yeah, just like in the movies. By 1816 though, when the Dutch gained permanent control over the island, there were no more pirates around. In those times, the men were gone out to sea for long periods of time, so Saba became known as the Island of Women. To give you an idea of just how isolated and untouched this island was, it was only in 1943 that the first proper road was built. And that moment was the beginning of Saba's tourism industry. There are only 2 ways you can reach Saba, either by boat or by an airplane. It has to be a small airplane though, because Saba has the shortest commercial runway in the world. By the way, this is what it looks like, so yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted. Anyway, regardless of how you arrive, your first stop is in the capital, the bottom. No, really, that's what it's called, the bottom. 460 people live in this town, so it's not exactly a bustling capital. Its name is an English corruption of the original Dutch name, de Botte, meaning the bowl. Is it a small town? Oh yes. But if this is the most crowded place on Saba, imagine how quaint and chill the rest of the island must be. Now you start to understand why Saba is the unspoiled queen of the Caribbean. Saba may be an untouched paradise, but if I tell you that it's actually a volcano, would you still go there? Now, you might think, yeah, sure, it's a volcano, but it's not active, right? Right? Well, not really. Mount Scenery, the highest point of Saba and the Netherlands, is classified as a potentially active volcano. The last time it erupted was around the year 1630, and it included explosions and pyroclastic flows. In the 90s, there was some seismic activity, which immediately increased water temperatures in the island's hot springs. While right now Mount Scenery doesn't seem to be on the verge of eruption, it's likely that sometime in the future it will erupt again. Now about the Dutch thing. Saba is not independent, it's not even really autonomous. Saba is part of the country of the Netherlands, a municipality with special status. As such, the people of Saba are Dutch and automatically European citizens. They get a vote in national and European elections, but the island itself is not EU territory. They also use the US dollar as their currency, not the euro. Saba is a weird hybrid, part Caribbean, part European. But for now at least, this system still works pretty well. The people of Saba are a small community, and I mean that literally. Most families can trace their last names back to around half a dozen families from the 17th century onward. But don't let that fact fool you. Sabans are an exciting and unique mixture of African, Dutch, English, Scottish, and Irish heritage. Both English and Dutch are spoken, although English is the lingua franca on the island. Visiting or living in Saba is reserved for those who seek a quiet life. The lifestyle is generally slow, with little nightlife, although there is a carnival held here every year. In short, Saba is not for those who seek more excitement in their lives, it's for those who had enough of that already. While it's not the Caribbean's top tourist destination, Saba heavily relies on tourism. About 25,000 people come here to spend their vacation every year. There are enough inns, hotels, restaurants and bars, you don't have to worry about that. But most of your time will be spent hiking, climbing and exploring the island's well-preserved natural landscapes. Scuba diving is also said to be exceptional. And believe it or not, there's also a university here, the Saba University School of Medicine. That school brings an additional 400 students and teachers to the island, adding to the cultural mixture. If you believe this place is not for you, just ask those who visited Saba. Once they were there, most of them never wanted to leave the island again. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Leave your comments downstairs and don't forget there's a Patreon page where you can support this channel. I hope to see you next time. Bye.